Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of IceCats Insider. I'm the voice of the Dee IceCats, Tom Callahan, joined as always by head coach Gary Graham to kick things off this week. Gary, I'm going to do it backwards. Before we look back, we're going to look ahead. And the reason for that is simple. It's Military Appreciation Weekend. I always say, outside of Teddy Bear Toss, which is always hugely attended, I mean, Military Appreciation Night, which is technically Saturday, it's one of the biggest nights of the whole year.
Yeah, I think you've been at different levels. I've been at different levels. No matter where you're at, the Military Appreciation Weekend is always big, no matter what market you're in. I think this country cares deeply about military families and stuff. It always brings up big crowds, and it's always a great way of rewarding, obviously, those that have served in the past, remembering those that have unfortunately passed away, those that are currently serving. So it's always a big weekend, and I know that our front office is really excited. They've done a great job marketing it. It sounds like it's going to be a big weekend. So we're going to get a very good Athens team in here that we're playing a lot this month, and it's going to be a good game.
I'm going to go ahead and send everybody to the website now, pdprohockey.com, for the information. If you are active military, there is a ticket deal for you, and all that is available on the website. But, Gary, one of the things I wanted to talk about is the Project Warrior that this supports, because what it does is it gives guys, whether they've been playing their whole life or maybe they've never played, and now they've retired and they're like, I'm looking for something to do. I still want to be part of a team somewhere, do something. Project Warrior supports getting them on the ice and into the sport.
Well, it's great. I mean, obviously, that's kind of what we want to do. We always want to grow the game. We're always looking to grow the game in different markets. But to have it be a kind of a military kind of operation and getting those guys playing the game, obviously one of our owners, two of our owners actually are prior military guys, and Mike Ronan and Kevin Boggs. So that's always good. We know how much their roots are into the military and their service life, and I know that they're going to be here this weekend, and I think some are going to be playing, is what I hear, right? So that's what's supposed to be happening, I think, at least. So it's exciting, like I said, because of that, but as well as the fact that we have two of our three owners that are so involved in this too, so I'm sure it's very deeply important to those guys.
Yep, and important to the community. And again, Project Warrior, so it's the Columbia Warriors coming up from Columbia, South Carolina that, as you mentioned, they're going to be jumping in and playing. That game's at 5 o'clock, and your ticket gets you in for both of them. Gary, are you going to do any coaching out there?
Maybe I'll do some evaluating from the stands.
Okay.
I do know I have some press obligations around that time frame. I think there's some TVs that's coming in to town on that day. I haven't got the whole itinerary for that day yet, but I will not be doing any coaching, but I will be watching and supporting.
Okay, well, there you go. Hey, you never know. You might find your next breakout superstar.
Hey, I will be watching some, I can tell you that.
There you go, absolutely. So, but we are looking forward to that, and we'll talk about it now and up front on the show because it is such a big night, but I also tell people, hey, get your tickets now is the other part of it, because we do expect it to be our biggest crowd of the year, which, again, we talk about continuously setting, record crowd. We're on a pretty good roll here.
We are definitely trending in the right direction. It's we want to be playing some good hockey in front of these fans. Obviously, the last time, that record crowd came out there, we didn't get that result on that Saturday night against Danbury that we would have wanted. We always want to play inspired hockey in front of our fan base, and I think, we showed up the back half of that game and not the front half of that game. We were all very disappointed with that. But, again, we're constantly striving to get better both on the ice and off the ice as an organization.
Actually, now it's been the past couple of weeks. You've been making some moves, rebuilding this organization. And I want to talk about the trades, but also from the standpoint of this is a first-year franchise. Have you ever gone through a first-year franchise before, and is this typical?
Well, that's the reason why actually I took the job. I've never been a part of kind of first-year kind of rebuild, not a rebuild, but just a build-up from the foundation on up, right? So I think, having Nick Graham around's been a huge asset because he knows this league a lot better than I did during the summer when we were doing some recruiting. But what I try to remind the season ticket holder fans that I see a lot at the meet and greets, and also the fans that sometimes will send me messages and stuff like that, is that, obviously we all want to win right now, right? But we're also trying to find the pieces that we want to build into the future too, right? So there's always you're kind of finding that balancing act right there. So we feel like right now, the moves that we made are going to make our team better, not only right now, but also into the future as to kind of the way we're trying to trend it and grow in that direction. It's never easy, of course. We loved all three of those guys. Eli and Gonzo and Cherney are three awesome human beings. They did great for us, but again, we feel like in a big picture that these trades are going to help us to ultimately achieve some higher end goals, not only this year, but also into next season.
And we talk about that. I mean, it's not just building for this year. It is building for the future, but it's also building the community, because what we see at this level, and I mean, fans probably, if you're 20 years ago and you're just coming back to the game, a lot of guys are looking for a place that they want to go and stay.
Yeah.
Right? They want to put down those roots in the right place.
Well, I think that's the one thing that the owners have done a great job is we're showing people and the other teams that come in and play and they see our setup and they hear how well the guys are taken care of and stuff like that. That's how you, again, get this momentum going, right? So it helps Nick and I during that off season recruit even better players, because now we have kind of that pedigree that we've kind of that standard that we've set, and now agents are talking, college coaches hear this, everybody talks, players talk, and they hear that this is a great setup. Now, when Nick and I are recruiting during this past summer, nobody knew what the heck was going on with us. They didn't know, with a first-year team, it could go good, it could go bad. Are the owners going to spend money? Are they going to do this? Obviously, we had the little bit of a shuffle with ownership at the beginning of the season right out the gate that nobody was expecting. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And I can tell you this in my experience, players do not like uncertainty, especially the higher-end guys that you're trying to recruit in free agency. If they have a choice to go to an established program where they've heard guys have good experiences and they're taken care of in the community, and the community really embraces them. If I'm competing against that program last summer, I'm losing out on that recruiting battle. But now, setting this up now, seeing how everything's going with our great fan support, the great fan support that we're getting, the great corporate interest we're getting, the fact that the city, the arena, Jumbotron, new lighting, everything's going to keep coming in. We keep building and getting this momentum. The locker room, keep getting some more things added into the locker room. Everything we want to do is taking us to that next level. So, again, how we kind of finish this back half of the season, hopefully be a playoff team, hopefully make some noise in the playoffs, and then obviously going into that next summer, then that recruiting can really hopefully start getting some momentum.
And Gary, it's funny, so many little things that can hinge on a player's decision. I mean, it could be something as, I don't want to say dumb, but as small as, do you guys even have the right tape for my stick? Or am I going to get the right equipment? Or, a guy needs something particular that he's used his whole career. Can I get it? Not necessarily everywhere you go.
Well, the number one question I get is how good's your radio guy? And that could be a struggle for me this next summer.
I'm sorry, buddy.
But other than that, we'll fight through that, right, Nick?
Nick Graham is on the phone right now recruiting.
Nick Graham's over here watching our interview as we go here. But no, it's a good question. But like I said, the sticks, the skates, like you just talked about, tape, that does sound like something probably stupid for the fans when you say tape. But believe it or not, I know last year, I'm not going to say the organization, but they started the season and they didn't have enough rolls of tape, or they didn't have enough pucks. I mean, these are little things that fans probably wouldn't even believe, but it can happen. And again, we just want to be known as a first-class organization. The guys have good housing, they're taken care of, and so again, all these things matter in terms of getting that top-quality prospect that you want to sign during the summer.
And so, I mean, all that going into it, and we're talking about Military Weekend coming up here, and all the visible changes and the invisible behind-the-scenes stuff going in. Bringing those players in. Here's the other thing, too. When you make those trades, those guys, their buddies are going to ask them what it was like to play there. The guys who come in will now have buddies asking them, what is it really like there? So, I mean, it's a game of telephone.
It is. And of course, it's common sense, players, and I don't expect players to be happy with me if they get traded, especially if they liked it here. They're not going to maybe say the things, but that's
they blame the radio guy.
That's understandable. Sometimes things just don't work out for whatever reason, and I don't expect them. But again, I know that they would say good things about the community, about the arena staff, our front office staff, how they're taken care of. Our equipment manager Glenn takes very good care of the guys too. So there's a lot that goes into that. And again, players of course are always usually upset when they get traded. What we hope for, though, and like I tell every guy when we have to make these moves, is sometimes players just need a reset. They really do, and it's good for their career paths too. So that's why you try to create win-wins for both teams. And again, it was great to see Eli score some goals this weekend and get that monkey off of his back, kind of get going. That's good to see. And I seen Cherney had some points this weekend for him. We had some for us against Danbury, but that's good to see. Sometimes these guys, they need that shot in the leg, kind of wake them up and kind of get them out of their funk, a realistic kind of wake-up call. And sometimes that can really get a player going. Of course, for us, on the flip side, you see Lakoff, have a big game for us on Saturday night. And we're starting to see, of course, we've seen him here when he was with Danbury, what he can do, but we know the type of player that he can be for us. So, all these things, again, kind of go into they're not easy decisions, Tom. They never are, especially when you grow close to some of the guys like some of the fans do, and then we have to make these decisions. But I think like Nick Graham put a letter out there in ownership to our fan base is that, when we're making these decisions, there's a lot of thought that goes into them behind the scenes. They're not just willy-nilly things that we're just thinking about real quick and pull the trigger on. They're big decisions that are made with the thought of our organization moving forward.
So I wanted to ask you, now that you have seen these guys, a couple of games of your trade acquisitions, what are your thoughts so far? And I mean, Lakehoff's probably the easy guy to start with.
Yeah. I mean, Lakehoff, again, I thought got better the second night. Of course, we had Deli played both games. Again, you can see, that type of offense he can bring from the blue line on the power play. He's got his head up, gets his shots through. Thought he competed well, and he's going to bring some physical play for us too. And, of course, X-Man is Xavier Abdelli. He flew all the way over from Croatia, so we let his legs kind of get settled out. Excuse me, we didn't play him Friday, but again on Saturday night too. Again, the thing with X-Man is he's one of those rare guys in our locker room, Tom, that's actually won a championship. And that's the reason why we wanted him so badly during the summer, is that when you're building a team from scratch, you really need some guys that know how to get the job done. They know what the coach's messaging is. They know the game plan. They can help, whether he's got a letter on his sweater or not. He's been there in the trenches and won a cup at this level. He knows how to get that message out to the younger guys as to what to do and stuff like that. So you can never have enough guys in your locker room that have won at a high level. And we don't have a lot of those guys in the room, so bringing X-Man in there was a no-brainer.
Gary, as a coach, how important is getting the letters on the right guys, but above and beyond that, I mean, how important is it for the guys who don't have the letters to be able to still feel like they're part of leadership?
Yeah, I talk to those guys a lot of times on the side, certain guys that don't have letters, and again, a lot of times guys can inspire other guys just by the way that they play and the way that they practice and stuff, and they just lead by example. They don't necessarily have to lead by their voices, and a lot of times it's typically your higher end guys. Your higher end guys, of course, are always looked up to by the younger guys. Hey, they're obviously our top guys, or they're going to go out there and they're going to do their thing. But if you're a 10th forward or something like that, or you're a young guy out of college and you're watching your top guys that don't have letters, and you're watching if they're practicing hard and they're doing the right things in practice, and then they go out and they do the right things in the game, that makes you want to mirror that, right? That makes you want to do that. Okay, that's why they're having success. So now I got to go do it. So, it's important for those guys too to know that they do play a role, because again, actions do speak louder than words.
Well, I mean, for fans of the NHL and the Carolina Hurricanes or any other franchise, I mean, you see at the NHL trade deadline, the teams that feel like they've got the team, a lot of times they don't look to add Connor McDavid to the lineup. They look to add that third, fourth line guy or that 5'6" defenseman who's been there, done that, can be that veteran.
100%. The culture guys, that's what we call them, glue guys. You need more glue guys. And guys, there's certain things too, like I've always said this, and I'm new to the league this year, and we'll see kind of the way the rest of the season transpires. But like when I was in the coast and I'd be recruiting, the biggest thing during the summer is that I would analyze a guy and how he got his points. So like if I'm looking at a forward, I'm looking at two different guys that scored 40 points. I'm looking at, if they both were in the playoffs, how did they perform in the playoffs? Are they gamers just during the regular season, or are they gamers when all the money's on the line?
Right.
You can tell a lot about a guy. Or again, a guy gets 40 points, but he gets all of his points against the bottom teams. But whenever he plays the best teams in the league, he's invisible. You need to know those type of things. It's just not apples to apples when you're looking at those things. So when you're recruiting, you really boil it down. You look at the game tape on guys, and you really want to find the guys that really excel when the limelight's on them. A road game in Athens, in front of 5,000 people against one of the best teams in the league. Can you get the job done? Because if you can get the job done there, you can probably get the job done against anybody, right? And so that's what you're kind of evaluating as a coach, because you're always trying to, as we say, keep up with the Joneses. And right now the Joneses in our division are the Athens and the Monroes, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too, the guy you have to watch out for is you lose 7-4, but he's happy because he got 3 points. You don't want that. You want the guy who got his 3 points and is still mad that you lost.
Oh, 100%. I mean, those are the guys that you're going to win big picture with. It's very frustrating. We haven't actually had that with this group. This group's been awesome in regards to that. But there's been some winning teams that I've been a part of that there's nothing more frustrating when you lose a game and you see a guy that still feels like he's, almost happy-go-lucky because he got his cookies, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
or on the flip side, it's when you win a big game and a guy that's one of your best scorers is sulking because he didn't get his points, Those are two situations that drive you nuts as a coach.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the mental game.
Yep.
So, and I know you guys you and Nick are still working and trying to figure things out for this hockey team here. For fans, trade deadline, is that something that's on your mind? I mean, when is the trade deadline in this league? How much time do you have to work with if you're still going to keep working with it?
Nick, when is the trade deadline? Do you know? It's in March.
Okay.
Yep.
So we have at least another month and a half here.
Yeah,
Easy.
I mean, listen, we're constantly, if there's something that we feel like can improve our team, we're going to do it. That's what your job is. That's what any NHL GM will be telling you right now if you're interviewing them. Our job as coaches, director of hockey ops, is to always have our ears on the phone and making sure that we're doing everything we possibly can do to make the team better. Now, with that being said, as I talk sometimes to my players, if they're watching right now this feed, is that if you go out there and you're doing your job, you don't have nothing to worry about, know. So there's something to be said with that, and every guy knows why they're here for. If we signed you, and you were a 40, 50 point guy last year and we brought you in for offense, obviously we're expecting offense from you. If you're a physical guy, we expect you to be physical. There's expectations that come with the roles that they're assigned. So, it's obviously my job to make sure that message keeps getting reiterated to every guy. So it puts them in a spot of accountability.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk about Athens because we see them an awful lot this month, including coming up this weekend and from this past weekend as well. So stay tuned. There's more IceCats Insider coming your way.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. When I add the Dijon mustard to this pretzel bun, it takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Real guests paid for their testimonials. Known for his integrity, attention to detail, and client-first approach, Sean Austin builds lasting relationships based on trust and results. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, a seasoned investor, or looking to sell your current home, Sean combines local expertise with strong negotiation skills to deliver a seamless experience from start to finish. Austin and Associates at RE/MAX Professionals. Your next address is just a slap shot away. Go IceCats!
McLeod Health is committed to helping you obtain a healthy lifestyle and improve your overall health. Medically trained in the areas of fitness and nutrition, we can help you reduce your risk for certain diseases and live a long, healthy life through fitness and wellness programs, community health education, and 2 medically based wellness centers. McLeod Health is with you on your journey to better health. Discover a new you at McLeod Health and Fitness Centers.
For 20 years, we've captured more than weddings, we've captured legacies. The laughter, the tears, the moments that last a lifetime. Every glance, every vow, every I do, preserved in stunning cinematic detail. Because your love story deserves more than memories. It deserves to be a film that lives forever. Something to remember wedding productions. 2 decades of love stories, beautifully told.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Evening Shade Incorporated. Trusted team with over 2 decades of experience. Gorget Distilling Company. Revolutionize your spirit. The Law Office of W. James Hoffmeyer. Serving South Carolina since 1992. Kimbrell's Furniture. Affordable home furnishings.
Welcome back on IceCats Insider. Tom Callahan, Gary Graham here with you. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Now we are indeed going to talk about the Athens Rock Lobsters. Gary, it's a quirk of the schedule, but outside of this Danbury and Binghamton kind of bookend here, I mean, it's Athens, and some more Athens here in this stretch.
Well, we knew the schedule right before we got into this thing, and we knew that we were going to have, I think, by far the toughest schedule in the league, but that's, again, what we all signed up for. That's what we want. You know, we have to find a way of beating this Athens team. You know, we've talked about ad nauseum, you know, with the group about how we have to play, and, you know, we go out there and we take penalties, you know, both games. You're not going to have success taking those type of penalties. Penalty kill was really good on Friday night, and then we were not good on Saturday night. You know, Friday night we didn't defend well 5-on-5, the slot area. We do a better job with that 5-on-5 Saturday night, but then our PK kind of lets us down. So again, you know, that's a big issue. We have to, when we've had success against these guys, we've been able to control our emotions. And I will say this in defense of my guys, it was difficult to do that this weekend with the way that the games were called. And this is not, I'm not going to get into refereeing or anything, but there was definitely, you know, some inconsistencies, and the standard was hard for the players to understand. But again, we have to rise above that, Tom. You know, again, we cannot make excuses for that stuff. You know, our PK's been good the whole year. We got to get a job done, you know, and so we know what that PK is supposed to do. We had some missed assignments on that, and we gave up some goals. And, you know, the other thing too is your best penalty killer's got to be your goalie too. So we know we need everybody to rise to that level when we do have to kill off those penalties, and we got to be better.
I wanted to ask you too, I mean, Neely at the end, obviously they take a look at it. He ends up with a 5-minute major there, but is Marcinkiewicz okay? Is he going to be in for this weekend?
Yeah. He actually came out after we scored the one goal to get to a one-goal game. I think there was like 15, 19 seconds left. We still had the power play, of course, and we called that timeout to pull the goalie. And he was yelling at me. He wanted to get out there bad, but he still didn't have his jersey on. His jersey was soaked in blood. He just got, I think, 7 stitches or something on his chin, or maybe not them, but he had some sutures or something on there. And of course, you know, we can't put him back out there with a bloody jersey. That's a league rule. But he was wanting to get back out there right away. But yeah, I mean, they obviously, you know, Neely. It's surprising. It's surprising to see him jump patty and only get a 5 and a 2 basically, and then a baseball swing to the face, and yet he's in the lineup yesterday against Columbus. So not happy about that.
And I mean, I don't want to talk about the refereeing. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but I will ask you this: as far as a protocol for potential further discipline, is there one in this league that you guys pursue? I would assume there is.
There is some channels that you can take. It's a little bit more difficult in this league compared to any other league I've coached in with how they do all the review processes. I'm not going to go into length about that, but you know, really what I want to do is just have a better communication line with the head of officiating, Paul Jean, and I'm hoping to have that call today with our owners and just try to explain some things. You know, you never want to go to the route of attacking, you know, referees, okay? That you're not going to get any love from anybody. It's going to fall on deaf ears right away. So we need to go at this with a calm approach. And again, the refs have a job to do. You know, overall this year, again, except for these last couple games, you know, I've been okay with the refereeing. I'm not going to, you know, everybody's going to make mistakes. I make mistakes, guys make mistakes and stuff like that. But the last couple games just felt a little bit, to me, a little bit indifferent, let's put it that way. So we're trying to get some better communication, especially with playing Athens. There's obviously some blood between these teams. And we just don't want to see somebody getting hurt, obviously. So, yeah. And of course, you know, Athens is going to listen to this and say, well, our defenseman's still on the IR, you know, that Dom hit, you know what I'm saying? He's still got a concussion, right? And so there's all this stuff, there's where all this blood is when you're playing the same team over and over again. This is what happens. Now, the thing is, when this happens, the refs need to know the storyline, and that's why I don't think maybe they don't understand the storyline. And they need to watch and protect guys better before these type of things happen.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, too. The officials at this level are all over the place.
Yeah.
They're doing different leagues. They're doing different games. I mean, so it can be hard for them.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's, I just wanted to ask that and kind of, I know
yeah, you put me, like I said, I don't like to talk a lot on air.
We're going to talk about coaching.
refereeing.
Sorry, we weren't going to talk about the refereeing, but I did want to know from a coaching perspective how all that works. So, so again, Athens is coming here now this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still a pretty powerful team, but What was the difference Friday to Saturday in defending? Because as you mentioned, the penalty kill was 8 for 8 on Friday.
Yeah.
And then you give up 4 power play goals on Saturday, and then 5 on 5. It wasn't your best night on Friday, but then much better on Saturday. Like, what is the difference?
Well, we're just trying to get everything to connect. I tip your hat. The one power play goal they had was an excellent power play execution goal by them. It would probably be a goal against any team in any league. So, but the other ones, there was definitely some things that we just didn't do properly, like we were doing the night before. And so, there again, just, therein lies, when you have such a talented team like Athens, if you keep giving them chances over and over and over again, it's the law of averages. They're going to make you pay. And so, again, tip your hat. Friday night, we did a good job. We got the job done. We're a little bit better. Of course, they're looking at the film. They want to just they were just trying to get pucks to the slot area and just to the net front area. And that's where, again, we got to win those net front battles better. I didn't like the way we lost some of those net front battles on the PK, and that's where, again, we got to get better in the film room there. But, again, it's always about connecting everything. You got offense, you got defense, you got special teams. You're going to have to win 2 of those 3 normally to win a hockey game.
Right.
And we didn't do that.
Well, and then in the third period on Saturday night, 4 goals.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden the offense wakes up. I mean, what was working at that point?
Well, again, it's not that we didn't have any chances in the first couple periods. It's just that they have been extremely opportunistic with their scoring chances. They were extremely opportunistic all weekend, and I thought in the third period we got going. Obviously, a lot of it was our power play. We pulled the goalie so early to get them that 6-on-4 advantage. That's great. Had some power play goals and we capitalized, but again, just a little bit late getting to the party there. But we still felt like we had a chance to win that game. We were confident. I was trying to do everything to put us in a spot, pulling the goalie early and being more aggressive with it, just to try to get us. Because, again, you know how our team is. If we get that little bit of momentum, we can get on that train and ride it.
Right.
And so that's why I was more aggressive with the goalie pull on the power play. I was like, I knew if we could just get the one that maybe we could get another one, and we did. We got the other one. And then all of a sudden, we only had about 15 seconds left, and that was going to be difficult to get another one with 15 seconds left. But I do give the guys a lot of credit for going out there and playing better in the third. But, the second period, again, we got away from our game. We weren't running our routes like we should be. Guys were on their own page, and Athens had a very good, technically sound period. And this is the one thing I'll tip your hat to Athens, is that they have a lot of talent on their team, but they play a very consistent team game. They don't veer off of that game plan. They're going to do the same thing. They're committed to doing it over and over again, and that's what you got if you look at their roster. They have some older, really experienced guys. When you look at their captain and you look at guys like Neely and you look at guys like Milan and some of these guys, they had a lot of experience on that team at higher levels, and I think that helps them get that messaging through their room sometimes. And for us, it's just, we just sometimes, whether it's immaturity or whatever it is, stubbornness, we don't do it for 3 periods. We can do it for periods at a time, but we just, for whatever reason, can't stick through it for 3 periods, and it's been frustrating, I'll be honest with you.
Well, so Gary, then knowing that this week of practice, without giving away state secrets,
Yeah.
What are you guys focusing on?
Well, yeah, they are state secrets. I don't want to. I'm sure somebody might be watching this, but obviously
we don't need to X and O it.
We obviously special teams are always going to be big against Athens. So we had some success on the power play also, but we also did not do. We got to make some adjustments on the PK a little bit there. I just think our overall zone time, our slot and net front coverage, we have to be able to defend against this team. They're so high firepower at offense. All 10 forwards can score. 3 of their D can score. They can come at you in waves with any line. So our team defense has to be locked down. I keep telling the guys, you're not going to win a high-scoring game against Athens. You're just not. You got to be able to win a 3-2, 4-3, 2-1 game against Athens and be stingy defensively. That's the way you got to beat those guys. So, that riverboat gambling hockey, going tick for tack, that's not the way you want to play against them. We have to be better structurally, defensively, and that not just with our D, but also our forwards helping our D out. And we got to get elite goaltending. That's the name of the game. We got to get not just average goaltending, we got to get elite goaltending.
Well, you mentioned it. Their D jump.
Yeah.
Right. They just go, and so that can create some coverage nightmares.
They're a very good skating team, and then when you got their D beating our forwards up the ice, that's going to be a problem for anything, and that's what we're going to be getting in the film room on.
All right. Well, Gary, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Good luck this weekend here.
We got one more thing here. Is this the end of the interview?
Yeah.
Okay. Just for the viewers here. So we're going to have a little bit of fun here. So a lot of you fans have been asking us, what are the guys doing on the bench to get themselves before the game? You'll see guys doing this thing under their nose, sniffers. Now, Tom was a hockey goalie himself, and he's done smelling salts and stuff. So we're going to see his reaction to the new smelling salts that the boys will be breaking out this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait.
Let's get a reaction
Let's
Don't get it too close. Woo! What is that? Eye-watering?
That burns.
Is that not the most intense smelling salt you've ever had?
Oh my God, I would never do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what's getting the guys fired up and getting them woke up and ready to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tom took it like a champ.
Oh my dear Lord,
his eyes are yeah. My eyes were watering when I did it. Yeah.
That's not even.
That's not normal, is it? That's some potent stuff right there.
But yeah, so I'm just gonna wipe the tears with no shame, and we're gonna go to break. All right, we'll be back with more IceCats Insider in just a moment.
The PD IceCats are lighting up the scoreboard, and Powers Properties is proud to be the official housing provider. Looking for an apartment? Powers Properties has you covered with modern apartments, convenient locations, and a team that puts you first. Just like the IceCats, we know what it takes to win, on and off the ice. Score big with Powers Properties. Relax, you are home.
Welcome to Seminar Brewing, where craft beer meets culinary delight. Located at 551 West Lucas Street in the heart of Florence, we offer an unforgettable experience for beer enthusiasts and food lovers alike. Pair your favorite brew with our mouth-watering menu. Our kitchen serves up everything from savory snacks to hearty meals, all crafted to complement our beers perfectly. Seminar Brewing. Taste the difference that local passion makes.
In the heart of Florence, South Carolina, discover Palmetto Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental care, led by Dr. Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education and bringing the latest methods to every patient. At Palmetto Smiles, comprehensive dentistry is under one roof: general care, restorative solutions, TMJ therapy, delivered with compassion. Ready for a healthier, more beautiful smile? Call 843-203-5155 or visit palmettosmiles.com. Dr. Brian Sang and his team can't wait to welcome you.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by McLeod Health and Fitness Center, the wellness leader. Austin and Associates. The right agent can lead the way. Hertz Car Rentals. Smart deals for any destination. Sports Clips Haircuts, the pros in men's and boys' hair.
Welcome back on IceCats Insider. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Tom Callahan here. I have dried my eyes and tried to pull myself back together in time to get Trevor Lord here to join me. Trevor, go Bills.
Yep, go Bills.
So
big win for the boys.
We got to talk about the Bills because me being a Buffalo guy, you got to jump on this and hopefully ride it while it's hot. So
exactly.
I got to ask you, so in the room, I mean, look, there's a lot of other things happening, right? It's life outside and all that stuff. So is football one of the biggest sports you guys talk about here?
Football. Obviously, World Juniors just happened. Sure. So World Juniors were a big thing. Canada and the U.S. didn't.
No, they stunk.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
So the Euros kind of won that one.
Yeah.
Kind of gave it to us a little bit. Razor, Sweden won. So he's only Swede. So he got it. Football, definitely a big one. I know Gullo's a big Bills fan. A few guys, like Huey's Eagles lost yesterday. So
that was a crusher, too. I know. Because he was all proud of being an Eagles fan. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
And especially, they beat the Bills, right? The end of the season there. Like, we should have won that game maybe. But.
Yeah, so we were watching it. I don't know why they kept going for 2-point conversions on that game against the Eagles. Huey runs up to our apartment and is watching the last point. And Allen just throws a terrible ball nowhere near him.
Well, actually, the reason they were going for 2 is because Prater got hurt, couldn't kick. They didn't have a kicker.
Well,
maybe that's why they had that kid the next week. But whatever it was, they didn't have a kicker.
So that kind of didn't help us there. And then, so when the Eagles lost yesterday. I put all my Bill stuff on. I went down to Huey's apartment. I just stretch it out. What's up, Huey? How about them birds? So we play around, but yeah, it's friendly.
And then baseball season's coming. I imagine a lot of Jays fan. I'm also a Jays fan.
We watched the Jays Game 7 in the room actually after the one game, and we were just all glued onto the thing because we have so many Canadians, right? So that was good. Heartbreaker, but
yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, do you guys talk much? And this, I'm sure fans would be curious to know. Do you talk much about NHL hockey at all, or do you talk about other sports?
I mean, every practice when you go into the room, I said you have all the highlights from every game on the TV. Playing through, we watch all of that stuff. So we watch it even just like in the apartments together, hanging out. The games, some kind of sports game is on, whether it's UFC, boxing, or just whatever sports is on.
It's either that, or I mean, I imagine there's quite a few guys competitively still playing like video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm one of the video gamers. I mean, few guys maybe I can trying to get like a little group going so we can play, but for the most part, like Huey plays, our new Dom Delasavita plays some stuff, so we'll probably get us all going together on something.
You got to kind of come together on one consensus
game. Yeah. That's the problem. And Huey's like a big sports guy, and I'm more like a first-person shooter kind of guy, so I don't really play his games kind of thing. So we're going to have to figure it out.
Rocket League.
No. Yeah, I've tried that one. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I'm not good at the soccer one.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty good at the hockey, but I stink at the soccer one.
Yeah.
So that's all right. So we're talking with Trevor Lord right now, who's joining us, and of course we're going to talk about the Bills and the stuff away from the rink. And Trevor, this is a lot of what I wanted to talk to you about. People see you on the ice. They know what you're going through, the wins, the losses, all that. But I wanted to talk about your journey. How did you even become a hockey player? Take us all the way back to the first time, maybe Mama or Papa Lord is putting you on skates. What was that like?
I mean, growing up, obviously Canadian, you have the backyard rink outside. My dad always set that up. So, like, when I started playing hockey, like mini sticks. You can ask my mom. I had a mini stick in my hand with the ball. Everywhere I went, I'm finding somewhere to shoot it, and I'm just ripping that thing around all the time. So my mom knows, she tells the story to everyone, that my dad played like men's league hockey when he was older, so I'd always go to the games, and then I'd hang out in the room with the guys after, and I'd always have that mini stick with me, and then finally started playing hockey, and then just kind of progressed from there, moved on, up and up and up. And then honestly, it was kind of funny because I was basically just done playing after junior, and I was just going to play senior with some of my buddies, and I was playing against my one buddy, and he was like, "What are you doing? You need to go play somewhere." So I was like, "Where am I going to go?" He's like, "You can go play somewhere." So actually, Josh Petrantonio definitely helped me with that one and got me to Watertown. So that's kind of how my journey started in Watertown, was from Josh.
So how old were you when you actually hopped on skates? Usually the Canadian kids, you guys are younger.
Two.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you were into it.
Yeah. It was basically like, that's what hockey done. I'm in.
Was there any other sports for you as a kid?
I played everything in like elementary school. I went to a small elementary school, so like every team you kind of played. If you played sports, you're on the team. So like I played flag football, I played basketball, volleyball, like all those things. I played lacrosse as a goalie actually, and then they started throwing that ball way too hard, and then I played player. So I mostly hockey, but like I played rugby in high school, stuff like that, like just other sports when hockey isn't going on, and then finally hockey, summer hockey, and just only hockey.
Right. I mean, look, lacrosse is the most fun when you're a defenseman anyway. With field lacrosse anyway, you got
field lacrosse,
the giant stick and you just whack.
Just
guys.
Whacking. Yeah, we played like, it was like indoor, like rink when they take the ice out kind of thing. So like, I guess, what is that, box lacrosse?
Box lacrosse. Yeah.
So I was goalie for that for a bit. I just try to run guys over. Yeah. So.
Well, you are wearing far more pads than anybody else playing box, so
you
got that going for you, I guess, which is nice.
Exactly.
So, Trevor Lord joining us here. So you talk about Josh Petrantonio kind of helping your career and saying, hey, you could go play somewhere, and some of your other buddies, I'm sure, were pushing you, and like, hey, you're good enough to go play somewhere. What went into that decision where you're like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I will give this a whirl, as opposed to getting a real job. And
so like hockey. Playing senior hockey, it's fun. You get to play with your buddies and everything, but it's like you don't really practice. You play once or twice a weekend, right. And it's like some guys are committed, some guys show up when they want. So it's like it wasn't really serious, and that was kind of like, for me, it's like, if I'm gonna play on a team, like I'm giving you everything I got, kind of thing. So like I got an opportunity with Delaware, with Paul McLean gave me a call during COVID for in Canada. Like there was everything was shut down, so the Fed was still playing. So he's like, hey, we're short bodies. Like, can you come play? So I went and played my first 2 games in Port Huron. And then once I kind of got a taste for it that year, I was like, okay, like actually this is something like I would actually really consider doing because this is way more serious. Like, so I was like, yeah. And then it was just like, wasn't the right time for me, like financially, and like I had a good job and everything like that. So I was like, okay, let me see what I can do in the summertime, save up a bunch of money, and then go to a camp and I can actually join in full time for like a full season. Whereas like I didn't want to join in late halfway and kind of be like on the fence about it. I wanted to be like, make sure I'm fully invested in this. So played those 2 games for Delaware. I told them, I said, if you guys need me again, I said I'd love to come back. A month later they called me again. I went down and we played Binghamton and Watertown. So once I got to see what Binghamton's rink was like and playing against them, I'm like, yeah, this is something I'd definitely do. So then playing against Watertown with Clarkie there, they kind of reached out to me and were like, hey. And then I talked to Josh about it, and he kind of helped me out, got my camp invite there, and then rest is history. Played there for 3 years, was an assistant captain halfway through my first year, got the A again for the second year, and then I was the C for my third year. So it was super nice there. I was grateful for the opportunity there. I loved it. I just think after last year, I think it was just time for me to make a step somewhere else and kind of just move on and go down and just try something different.
You know, that's an interesting thing too, because it is a lot of choices for players to make a choice to come to Florence, where, you know, Gary talked about it in the first segment, and we talked about recruiting and what kind of players you're getting in your first year, because there's a lot of unknowns, right? And that can be a little freaky for guys who want certainty and want to know exactly what it's going to be like. I mean, coming into a new organization has its risks.
Yeah, so like, especially for me, it's like playing on the same team for 3 years. I'm just so used to everything there. The fans, I know what I'm getting every time I go there, like how the rink is, how everything works. So like coming to a brand new team, it's like, what's going to happen? Like, is it going to be like a shit show, or is it going to be like ran properly? And like, thankfully, like gratefully, everything's amazing here. I have no complaints. The owners are great. So like, I'm happy. Like, Gary recruited me in the summertime, he talked to me a bit, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. Come down here, play golf, warm weather. Like, why not? Like, perfect. The fans have been amazing. We've been getting more fans just every game, progressively better. I'd like to win more hockey games, so we're working on that. I mean, we do have the toughest schedule in the league. If you look at that, that was another thing coming down here. Gary told me, I'm like, we play playoff teams the entire time. We don't get to play those little freebie, easier games. So that one's tough, but I like that better than playing some of the weaker teams like up in the north. So it's good.
I think that says a lot about you as a competitor, though. Like some guys, and I understand what you're saying, because I was the same way when I was younger and trying to get better. I'm like, I wanted to play the best team or the best competition I possibly could, because that's how you keep getting better.
Yeah, like playing like Danville last year. They I think we won like 2 games all year. So it's like hard to get up for some of those games when you're winning by like 8 goals. It's like, what are we doing? It's like, so it's kind of not fun. Like I'd rather just play bingo over those games, or like us this month we're playing Athens and bingo, so it's like perfect. I'm playing the 2 top teams in the league. I'm ready for the challenge.
Yeah, and that it is going to be a challenge, right? We see a lot of Athens.
Yeah,
I want to talk to you in the next segment about the old familiarity breeds contempt, but we'll get there. We're not going to quite jump to that one yet. So then I want to fast forward to your experience coming here into Florence. Just, take us through maybe what it was like coming down to camp and getting into the community here, what that's been like.
Yeah, so like getting down here, I came, I stayed with Jesso a couple of weeks before, came down, kind of just like get down here, and we were supposed to be able to skate. There's some things with the rink, the ice wasn't ready, so I was like, oh, here we go. And then so we were going to Columbia, driving out there, which I think was good for the group, because we all huddle in those 15-passenger vans and kind of just get to know everybody, and just like, we got bagged at camp. It was good, hard camp. It's like really gets you ready for opening weekend. And then, for opening weekend, like we had a good turnout here. It was nice. Like we came up short. I think it was lost in a shootout or overtime. I think it was a shootout the first game, and then second game we like dominated, and it was nice for that. But like coming in here and like kind of seeing the town, like I didn't know if it was going to be a small town or like not like a water town, how it's just like kind of one road has everything. But like as I'm driving, like I'm finding new places every day still for like food and stuff like that, because I'm not really a cook, so I like to go out and eat.
Is there a cook in your group or your apartment, or?
Well, I have Golo and I have Bedsy in my apartment. They both have girlfriends. I have a girlfriend too, but Golo's girlfriend's here full time, so sometimes she cooks, but most of the time, like, no, they cook on their own, but they don't cook for me.
See, what's that about? I thought they'd be taking care of you.
No, but the house is always clean, so it's nice.
Golo strikes me as a guy who would cook, though, right?
Sometimes, but you used to be surprised. Sid cooks way more for him.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Lucky guy.
No kidding, right? That's amazing. Good for him. So, all right, we are going to take a break. Trevor Lord is our guest right now. We'll come back with more in just a moment on IceCats Insider.
Dal Massimo Ristorante Italiano, where culinary passion meets the art of hospitality. Established in 2010, our restaurant was born out of a love for authentic flavors and a commitment to providing our guests with a memorable dining experience. At Dal Massimo, we believe that food is more than just sustenance. It's a celebration of culture and community. Whether you're here for a cozy dinner, a festive celebration, we look forward to serving you.
Ding dong.
Mountain dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Margarita's Mexican Restaurant, where every dish is a celebration of taste. Tomlinson Sales. Get your PD IceCat apparel here. 7 locations to serve you. Something to Remember Wedding Productions. 2 decades of love stories, beautifully told. And the official video graphic designer for the PD IceCats.
Welcome back here on IceCats Insider. Tom Callahan, Trevor Lord here with you. We're looking forward to wrapping things up. And wanted to talk to you a little bit, first of all, about leadership on this team. Gary comes up here week in, week out, talks about how important the captains are for him and his captains' meetings and everything like that, without getting into stuff that's too sensitive for the air. But tell us what that's like. What is it like to be part of that core?
Yeah, it's. I think it's a really special thing. Like honor, like. End of the day for me, really, it's just a piece of cloth on your shoulder. It doesn't really change what I would do on the ice. Like I'm just gonna do my same thing, but Gary wants me to be one of the leaders, and like I said, gonna do the same thing. Doesn't change anything. Like even guys that don't have letters on their jerseys can still lead by example, right? But for us, like just buying into his system and just kind of preaching what he is giving us and getting everyone to buy in is kind of the thing. So basically, like that's all we're trying to do right now. Gary is really good X's and O's in video and like showing us like what is going to work. So it's a matter of us doing it. Also, like for guys coming from different teams and kind of being like the guys back there, like they kind of just need to buy into our systems, I think.
Talk a little bit, if you will, about you guys are kind of the conduit, right? I mean, if there's something in the room that they want the coaches to address, does that pass through you? Do you guys have an open door with Gary?
Yeah, open door with Gary. Like any problems, anyone is more than welcome to go in there. I mean, some guys are scared to talk to him. I don't know why, but like they'll come talk to us. Or like anything that needs to be addressed really in the room, it's kind of controlled by the leadership group. Like we'll talk amongst ourselves, and if we have to bring it up to Gary, we will. But like preferably, if we can just handle it ourselves, we will. And like just simple stuff like that. There's never anything too crazy that happens, But also, it's like maybe some guys having like a bad practice and stuff, and Gary's like on him, but it's like he doesn't know that like maybe his dog passed away or his goldfish died, So he's like having a bad day or something like going on behind closed doors that he doesn't know about, and we like kind of go, hey Gary, like this just happened for him. He's like, oh okay, like I'll kind of like let up on him a bit. So we haven't had anything like that or anything too crazy happen this year, thank God.
Well, yeah.
So yeah,
knock on wood,
no drama. I mean, we have an older team, so it's kind of nicer. Like we have Diaz as our captain. He's been around, played for a while. Golo's been around, and Houston same. Like they all have SB, some coach experience. They've been around. They've been leaders on other teams, and like so it's nice to kind of have like a open perception of like all of us, and like we've all been different places. We've all seen a bunch of different things. So for us all to come together, kind of just trying to lead these guys.
That's an interesting point you make, because with a brand new franchise, that makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
You don't have 20 kids running around trying to figure out not only pro hockey but life away from the rink and where to go, what to do. So I mean, you guys are really important for that.
Yeah, especially we have like I said, older group, so it's a little easier. Guys kind of know how to be a pro and stuff like that. But also we have some new guys, some younger guys, and for Golo, he runs his own hockey training thing, higher hockey. So he has lots of experience with being a pro and helping guys out outside of hockey. So and then Diaz, older guy too, myself, we all have experience kind of outside of hockey too. So we also help these guys outside of hockey if they have any problems. I tell them if you need anything, let me know. I will do whatever I can to help you guys out.
As long as they're a Bills fan.
Yeah.
Well, that's important. So
exactly.
So we're chatting with Trevor Lord here, and just let's get back to the hockey stuff and talking about Athens. I don't want to say they have our number because I don't think they do. I think we play them really close, and I think the games are hyper competitive.
Yeah.
But that is a really good hockey team over there. What is it about Athens that, number one, seems to bring out the best in us, but also, I mean, they're just, is that to you guys in the room, is that, hey, this is where we need to be, this is where the bar is?
Yeah, so I mean, they've had a team for, this is their second year, so they have a core group of guys all coming back that have they've done really well. They got upset in playoffs. I thought they would have probably been in the finals against Bingo last year. Good team. I never got to play against them last year, but just from talking to a few guys on other teams about how good they are, and Steve Martinson, really good coach. Now he's in Allen, so they have a great gateway kind of thing for hey, if you go here, we can get you up to the coast possibly kind of thing. So that also helps recruit players, and playing you're on University of Georgia campus, there's lots of fun stuff to do there. Good nightlife, the facility is amazing. Not hard to kind of convince a guy to go play there, right?
Right.
So, and then now they have, what is it? Rutledge is their coach, and he was in Carolina, got them to the finals. Then he went to Saginaw, won a Memorial Cup. Really good coach there, right? Just kind of, and he just jumps in there with a already good core, and then he can just bring in guys that he knows and just build that team. So, great team there. And I think for us, honestly, if with the additions we've been making in trades, I think we can beat them easily. I mean, I don't want to get suspended or anything for talking about refereeing and stuff, but I mean, it definitely is hard when you get a power play and then the other ref kind of calls something soft and makes it a 4-on-4. It's well, that's a power play, that's a scoring opportunity. Or some of the calls that they let go, stuff like that. But again, you can blame the ref as much as you want. At the end of the day, we need to be better defensively, especially against a high-scoring team like that. If we want to beat Athens, we need to win 4-2, 4-3, a low-scoring 2-1 game, and shut down their big guys. And I thought we did a good job with Milan, not letting, he wasn't really on the score sheet at all this weekend. So I think that was good. They had a few guys step up. I think this weekend will be a good test to kind of see if some of our guys will step up that get the opportunity. So.
What has it been like for you? You referenced the trades, but I mean, you've seen your line mates shuffle. And trying to establish some chemistry with those guys. I mean, what is it like for you as a player to try to find chemistry with new line mates?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you're not winning games, you can't play with the same guys as much as you want to. It doesn't work. You got to try and find some kind of maybe these guys are going to work. So I think Gary's been doing that pretty good. I thought my line last weekend was Houston and Lykoff, and I thought we played really well. So maybe we'll see in practice this week if we stay together. But I thought that line was really good, speedy. So honestly, it's hard sometimes playing with certain guys. But at the end of the day, it's we're all pros. We can figure it out. You're all playing positions. It's hockey. You're playing hockey.
You look at a guy like Wilson and Legkov, obviously he's got speed, right? He's quick, but I mean, those guys are just running around with little water bugs out there. I mean, you want to get yourself open, get some shots, right? Hey, give me the puck. I'm over here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so finding some certain guys, some guys are just only passers. I tend to play better with passers because I'm more of a shooter myself kind of thing. So that was one of the things we had in Watertown last year is I had Grasby and Gaeta on my line, and both of those guys just wanted to pass to me the whole time. So that was nice.
Yeah,
I'll take it, sure. But no, definitely, again too, down in the South, it's way tougher. So it's hard. It's hard hockey. You got to dump pucks in more than you can. You can't just skate into the zone freely as I would like to. So kind of getting used to that a little bit, but I think I've adjusted really well now, kind of getting used to playing it. And I've seen every team, and I kind of adjusted how they play things. So I think once we kind of find this chemistry and get like some of the guys off injury, like we get Chance back and stuff like that, it'll help definitely. But no, I think everyone knows what they need to do. I think it'll be a good weekend for us.
And it's just a matter a lot of times of just, hey, guys come into a new system. I mean, they've got to get acclimated to that, right?
Yeah, so like that was definitely for us this weekend. Like we had 3 new guys just jump right into the lineup there with X, Dom, and Lykov. So it's kind of tough for them. I know like X is coming from Croatia, hasn't really played at this pace of hockey all season. So, but I mean, he's won a championship in Danbury. He's a good leader on our group, but I'd love to have him. And Dom played with him last year. He played D3, was a captain for his team again, another leader, good room guy, good guy on the ice. And then again, Lykov, he's a young stud. So, and like you said, speed. Playing against him last 2 weekends ago, oh my God, I didn't want to chase him around. So I'm glad he's on our team now, and I can just pass him the puck and let him do some incredible things.
You know, I wanted to ask you as a North American guy, because we do have, I would argue, one of the higher European contingents, number of European players, right?
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't seem to be really any sort of line of demarcation for these guys. Like, so, because it can be. It can be, but it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, so, I mean, most of them, all of them speak English. I mean, not the greatest, some of them. I mean,
Can lead to some funny moments.
Very funny moments. I'm trying to learn some Russian and stuff like that. But, like, it's funny because, like, in Athens, I got stuck basically in the corner of the dressing room, and they were all just surrounded me. So I was just sitting there, not understanding a word any of them are saying. I'm just looking around like, well, how did I get stuck in this situation? But no, like, they're all great guys, and like they all want to be here and they all want to win. And I think, and like Gary coaching in Russian and stuff, he loves his Euros. He loves his Russian players. So I think that's one of the reasons why we have so many of them. Also, like, they're workhorses. They do not stop. So it's nice to see those guys out here.
Yeah, and again, it's a good thing because look, I've been in hockey for a long time, and you see rooms where guys can eventually they separate into little cliques, and that can kind of bring a room down. But I just don't get that sense with the IceCats.
Yeah, no, like we don't really have anything like that. I mean, we hang out. All of us are always in like the apartments hanging out together and stuff like that. Everyone's always around. Like, we don't really have any like little cliques or anything like that, which is nice. I mean, yeah, you have like your one buddy that you're going to hang out with more than everyone else, but it's not like you're not like only hanging out with him. Like, you're going to go together and hang out with the other guys. It's not like, oh, we're not going to hang out with those guys over there kind of thing.
Gotta ask you, just a couple of like, I'll give you some options, but some fun questions standard here. Who has the best or worst taste in music?
Best or worst taste in music? Well, Pops is our DJ in the room. He's got good music. Huey's got good music. I'd probably have to be one of the Russians. Probably playing like some Russian disco music or something. Because honestly, we don't really get to. I haven't seen enough of the guys to know. Because Pops, right when we walk into that locker room, Pops is already on that speaker, or Huey's on that speaker. Sometimes I get on it, or Diaz gets on it, but other than that, like, I haven't really got to hear some of these other guys. But probably one of the Russians probably have some crazy taste in music.
So, best and worst dressed?
Well, I'll probably be, for game day, I'm definitely the worst dressed. Absolutely, for sure. Don't own a suit, so.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, that's kind of interesting because hockey is such a suit sport. How did you get away from that?
Well, in Watertown, the way that you get into the rink, for like us, we go right into the locker room, so there's no like, you don't see any fans. It's also freezing cold out there. There's like 8 feet of snow, so I'm in a winter jacket running from my car into the rink, and you just go right into the locker room, so you don't see any fans. There's no one taking pictures or anything like that. Where now it's here, I bought like a blazer and I try to dress up a little bit, but so I got away with it for a little bit, but now I've been trying to dress up a little bit better.
Is anybody trying to give you fashion advice? Be like, come on, man, you need to.
Yeah, a few guys. I think Dennis is maybe worse dressed than me sometimes, so I think we'll take that together.
Nice. All right, that's fair. And then the guy you would least want to be stuck in an elevator with?
Least stuck, probably Dom Delasavita, the new guy. Yeah, he talks way too much.
Is there a guy you'd rather be stuck in the elevator with?
Probably Dennis IceCats.
Okay.
Yeah, hilarious.
He is funny.
And he's always happy. I've never seen him mad ever.
Which is incredible. Yeah, he's always having a good
he
day.
comes in the morning and goes, "Good morning, how are you? Did you have a good sleep?" "Yes, great sleep, amazing." Perfect, Dennis. Good to hear.
I love it. That's great stuff. So, well, Trevor, we appreciate you taking the time to come up and join us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, and go Bills.
Yeah, go Bills.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of IceCats Insider, everybody. I want to say thanks to Gary Graham, for Nick Graham, for just creeping from the sidelines, and then, of course, to Trevor for coming on here and joining us. We'll be back at you again next Monday night. This is Tom Callahan saying thanks for joining us.